Hello everyone. Good news. I got these three fantastic horror books, of course, as always, that I'm going to talk about. But the author of one of them was generous enough to have me do a giveaway for his book. So you want to stick around to get the details how you can win your copy of this book for free at the end of this video. And I'll give you all that information when we talk about it. But you definitely don't want to miss out. And as a reminder, if you want to give a little gift to yourself, treat yourself, I have horror books for sale you can check out. And there's a link down below where you can do that. And if you want to get all of those for free, you can check out my Patreon. A couple days ago, I uploaded your free short horror story, the first one of the month, that I just finished writing. I hope you enjoy it if you're a Patreon member. And in a week or two, I'm going to, again, give you links to 5 absolutely free horror books from different authors. So if that's something you're interested in, you can get that every month. And there's a link down below if you want to join my Patreon. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first book I'm going to talk about today is called When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. This one's coming out next month. There is a pre-order link in the description. And I gotta say, Nat Cassidy is one of my favorite authors. This is one of my favorite horror books of the year. And maybe I'm a bit prejudiced, but his book, Mary, Nestlings, and his awesome, gnarly novella, Rest Stop. I just reviewed that one as well. Yeah, I'm a huge Nat Cassidy fan. And so when I heard he was going to do his version of a werewolf story, I was intrigued because for you long-time viewers, you know that's one of my favorite tropes. I love a good werewolf story, but I was not expecting this. And I'm just going to tell you how the book begins, okay? And I'll tell you why in a minute. It's about a woman, and she works in Los Angeles as an actress, which means she works at a diner. A little out of the way, kind of a scrubby looking kind of diner, you know, nothing fancy. And one night while she's cleaning the bathroom, she accidentally pricks herself with a used hypodermic needle that a junkie had used earlier and left behind. So she's panicking because she doesn't know what kind of disease that might hold, and she needs to get to the hospital and have it checked out as soon as possible. But when she goes back to her apartment, she is going to find something strange. There is a disheveled, kind of weird little boy hiding in the bushes outside of her apartment. And he's jabbering about his father's coming. And he's obviously, he's panicked. He's obviously in fear and perhaps shock, she thinks at first. So she takes him inside her apartment, wondering what to do with him. But before she can make a decision, his father shows up. But his father is arguing with other people that live in the apartment building that were hanging out outside because his father is completely naked. But he is angry, like, you know, vein in the forehead, throbbing, spittle coming from his mouth, angry. He wants his son back. He knows his son is here, and somebody better give him some answers. That leads to an altercation. And during the altercation, the father changes into this huge, hairy, snarling beast, werewolf type beast. And very agile, very powerful claws and teeth. And basically, it kills everybody in the apartment building almost. Like a complete massacre, ripping them apart, ripping them open. When the police show up, this thing goes through them like a hot knife through butter as well. During the chaos, she and the little boy jump into her car and escape, not knowing where they're going to go, because of course they're freaking out, obviously. And so with that setup, I thought, okay, this is going to be like a road trip horror story, a cat and mouse game, because this creature obviously has heightened senses where it can sniff out his son. And so they're never going to be able to escape, and it's just going to follow them. And I can see that story playing out in my head. But then about a third of the way through, I was pleasantly blown away by this. It didn't just take a little turn. It rolled the car over 3 or 4 times, and it goes up in a delightfully weird direction that changes everything you just read. All of a sudden you realize, and my mind was blown when I got to a certain scene, and I'm not going to tell you what it was because you need to experience that the same way I did when I was just like, what the hell is this? What is going on? And I mean that in a good way, of course, because this book is going to take a turn, and it's going to turn into something you did not imagine and you did not see coming. I guarantee that. And ultimately, we're going to find out secrets about the father, about this little boy, and we find out these horrifying things, and it's going to affect our main character and others as well, because it does have a pretty high body count in here. I'll just say that. But this one just blew me away, man. It did not disappoint, just like all of his books. You think you're getting one thing, and you just get so much more, you know. And so, yeah, I definitely highly recommend it. You will be blown away. You will love it. And as I said, there is a pre-order link in the description. And next we have What Doesn't Cure You. This one just released. It's a brand new release just a couple days ago at the time I'm making this video. And this one is fantastic. It's about several things, but there's two guys, they're friends. They go cave diving, something they like to do, in a particular cave that's popular with people. But they're going to find an entry in this cave that's not even on the map, so undiscovered territory. When they go inside this very tight space, it opens up. They see a body of water, and in that water is something pretty horrific, but they want to go check it out. And while they're doing that, what they found kind of sprays some yellow liquid at one of the men, and he accidentally ingests some. He swallows it. But he's had asthma, crippling asthma, his whole life. And after he swallows this thing, something happens, and he knows that his asthma is gone. Whatever he ingested cured his asthma. And basically, they take samples of this liquid, gather all they can, because they're starting to see dollar signs in their eyes. If this thing can cure asthma, I mean, you know, a lot of people have asthma. That would bring them in a lot of money. But they decide to experiment on other friends and people as well. Like one of their friends is deaf and blind, been that way since a child. And so they give him some of this liquid, and it cures him. He can hear, he can see, 20/20 vision, perfect hearing. His girlfriend's father has stage 5 dementia. So she's reluctant about this because, of course, there are ethical conundrums given this unknown liquid to human beings, of course. But he is deteriorating quickly, and she loves her father very much. So if it can help at all, she allows him to give his father some of this stuff. And when he takes it, he is cured of his dementia, and he feels younger and better than he has in years. So basically, they realize that they have got the cure for everything. Like any disease known to man, people take this stuff, and it'll cure it. Cancer, Ebola, COVID, you name it. And finding a cure for cancer, yeah, now they're not just seeing dollar signs, they're seeing lots and lots of dollar signs, because they know they're going to be billionaires if they can get it out to the markets. They don't want to go the ethical way, though, so they contact this firm in Norway, a pharmaceutical kind of company, among other things. And this place is a trip, man. Wait until you read about that part. I'm not going to go into it now, but yeah, it's going to have a big impact on how the story ends. But they go there and they sign a contract, because under the table, this company can get all the clearance paperwork that they need to actually start branding it and distributing it. And so they go away thinking all their problems are over. Instant billionaires almost. They found the cure for everything. What they didn't think about was the horrific, bloody side effects and consequences of taking this substance. And yeah, people that have taken it are going to start dying in very bloody, brutal ways. And the other consequence of taking this, they're going to find out, is that back in that cave where they found this stuff, they have released something into the world that wants its stuff back. And let me tell you, the last third of this book is just a non-stop, action-packed, bloody, gruesome nightmare with body parts and just intestines and guts and everything just flying all around. Because they go back to that facility in Norway once they realize the consequences of this, trying to stop them from doing anything with it. But yeah, it's going to go off the rails. And they're going to be kind of trapped down there in that secret underground lab place. Well, you'll read about it, but they're going to be trapped down there, and there are things that are very hungry that are going to be chasing them at every turn. And the thing about this book is that you get to know all these characters, and they die so frequently. Like, you never know who's going to die next, so you're reading on the edge of your seat because some of those deaths, they hit you right in the heart, man, because you got to know these characters, you know. I absolutely love that. Yeah, this whole book is fantastic. It's just, I've never read anything like it. This author did a fantastic job of with pacing. Like, the narrative just keeps getting pushed forward all the time, and that's really what you want in a book, right? And yeah, it's fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Highly recommend it. And there is a link down below where you can pick up your copy right now in the description. And next we have our book giveaway. This one is called DIY Exorcism by David Washburn. And all you got to do to enter to win your copy is two things. Subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment on this video. Before my next video comes up, everybody that leaves me a comment will enter their names in this online thing that automatically will give me a winner at random, so you know it's on the open up. And I will announce a winner in my next video. And just leave me a comment. It doesn't matter what it is. Let me know what your favorite horror book is, what's the latest film you watched. Let me know if you like pineapple on pizza. You should. Or if you like ketchup on hot dogs, you should not. And if you like peanut butter and jelly, in my opinion, the only acceptable flavor of jelly is grape. Ooh, controversy. Let me know if you disagree. Yeah, leave me a comment about everything and you will be entered. And in my next video, I will announce the winner. I will get a hold of that person and get their contact information. If you live outside of the United States, you will receive an ebook. If you live in the United States, you will win a physical copy, and I will get your information, contact information, and give it to the author, and he'll be sending that to you right away. So, good deal. But let's talk about the book and why you want it in the first place. This is about a man named Dante, and he has an ex-wife. He has a son. He's a very good father, a very nice man. He's also a pastor. He has a pretty big following in the small town. He does a lot of live streams and things, and he's very popular, very well-respected man. He loves his son very much, but he's always afraid of losing him to his ex-wife. But one day the kid just starts acting out in ways, eventually in ways that are far beyond just adolescent rebellion. I mean, very vicious, horrific things are coming from this child. And he makes the unfortunate mistake. He loves him very much, but he doesn't know how to handle it, so he chains his son in the basement. He chains him down in the basement. And because of his reputation, his good reputation, and because he doesn't want to lose his son over this, he decides not to call professionals that deal with exorcisms. He decides he's a pastor, he's a man of God, so he can do it himself. And that one mistake is going to throw this whole thing into a bloody, terrifying turn of events. Let me put it that way. It is not going to end well because he's dealing with a very powerful entity here. And he should have left that up to the professionals. And I really like this story because the dad's not the bad guy. You would think he is because he chains his son in the basement, but he's doing it kind of for the right reason. Maybe his pride gets a little bit in the way because he's worried more about his reputation and he thinks he can do this himself. But the thought is there that he just wants to help his son. So it's a complicated character, yeah, but he's very sympathetic. And of course, when you're dealing with a child going through this, that makes things even more horrific, right? And you just have to read about how this is going to turn out. If you like any possession stories at all, you are going to love this one as much as I did, because it is absolutely excellent from beginning to end. And it'll give you the chills, and it's horrifying. And so, yeah, even if you don't win a free copy, you definitely want to pick this one up anyway. And of course, there is a link down below where you can do that. I highly recommend it. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.